JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 9, the JoJo Land, started off absolutely crazy. If you guys didn't know, Part 9 of JoJo Land's Chapter 1 just came out yesterday and it's taking the internet by storm. It is highly anticipated. So let's go ahead and just take a look at the chapter and give you guys a quick review. This will contain spoilers though. This won't be a spoiler free review. And let me know in the comments if you want this to be a whole series. Should I do the entire part? But let's get right into it, man. So chapter 1 opens off with the two main characters getting pulled over by the police. And one thing that I think is very, very cool about this part, that it seems that it takes place in the current year, 2023, or maybe a little bit earlier, maybe 2020 or so. Why? Is because where's the part at? Is because, and actually this is our main character's first lines. JoJo's stars, you were jamming to Dua Lipa so hard. And if you guys didn't know, Dua Lipa is a modern day artist. And a little bit later on into the chapter, she says she's worried about COVID, which obviously is something that is fairly recent. But long story short, the police began, doing basic police routine, license and registration. Then eventually he demands that they step out of the car so they can conduct a search. The reason why they are suspicious of these two characters is because they were blasting loud music, they were swerving in and out of lanes, and that's just enough to raise suspicion, to be real. But this begins to escalate very, very quickly as he begins to be very, very weird, as you can see right here, and very, very aggressive. So what does our boy do? The main character, he hopped out of the car without hesitation and he tells the police officer straight up, take your hands off my bro's body or I'll kill you. Coming out with the heat already. This guy is not playing any games. And look at his haircut. I like his haircut. People have been roasting him online, but I think it's pretty cool. But then long story short, we actually see our main character's stand ability in the first chapter, which is very, very crazy. Usually JoJo's like to build up, anticipate what the main character's stand ability is going to be. But it seems that the stand ability of our main character, JoJo's star, is that he has the ability to control rain that he can actually create. And what this rain does is that it can hit you so hard that it can pin you to the ground, which sounds very, very crazy, especially on the fact that he can create this rain as well. So this rain is just messing this guy up. It's snapping his bones, all type of stuff. And this is actually a shot of his stand right here. It's very, very cool. It's a very different look than what we're used to. The police officer is actually going to go shoot our main character, but then the brother comes into play with his stand ability, his stand ability seems to be that he has the ability to displace any object that he wants, even if it's supposed to be in a stationary position. For example, he moved the eyeballs on this guy's head so that he wouldn't be able to see when he shot. Very, very interesting abilities, very, very useful abilities as well. So they took out the police officers and then they go to delete all the footage on their body cams and computers, so they're off scot-free. So this is just a basic introductory part where we see the stand abilities of two important characters of this part. So Dragona, JoJo's brother, uses his stand to change the license plate number and to also change the driver's license that he used so that they will be off the record and off the grid a little bit. So what happens next is they go to this junkyard with other gang members because these two characters are in gangs, and I'm going to get into that a little bit later. And pretty much they get paid from doing a sort of service that they did before, and it seems like they're new to it because this guy says that we were holding your hand this time, next time don't be late. So it seems like they're fairly new to this gang, and they break down that, you know, they joined a gang so they can provide their mom a good lifestyle, and that her mom is very, very respected. And it goes a little bit into detail about Dragona Joestar, which could be a reference to drag because this is a male character and he is dressing like a female character, so that could be a reference there. He still goes by he him pronouns, and here's the official introduction. My name is JoJo Joestar. Our surname comes from our mom, and here's actually a breakdown of the family tree. And as you can see, JoJo is a descendant of Joseph Joestar, which is very, very cool. So the next part of this chapter is pretty much JoJo going to his school, and things pretty much escalate quickly. And pretty much what JoJo is saying, that is he doesn't even go to school for education. He goes to school to flip that work, to get that bread, to do what he gotta do. So he starts tripping, and a whole bunch of other stuff happens. Remember this guy though, you can just tell by his design that he's going to be fairly important in this part. But he tells him where the pack is. He goes to the location, and bada boom, bada bing, baby. He got the stuff. He got the work. Here's the part where he explains what his mechanism is. He pretty much explains that his mechanism is his ability to sort of play the middleman. That's a perfect way to analyze this. Is that his ability to play the middleman and do tasks and kind of slip into the shadows and things like that, which I believe is very, very cool. And then here's the official statement right here. This is a story about how a boy got filthy rich in the subtropical islands. Here's the next character that is introduced in chapter 1. His name is Paco Lovelantes. I assume that's how you pronounce his last name. But look, his ear got bit off. Crazy stuff, man. But he has a stand ability that pretty much allows him to grab things with any part of his body, even like the back of his hands or his elbows or any area where you're not really supposed to grab things. He can like grab stuff with his leg if he wanted to, which is very, as you can see right here, he can cause his muscles to squeeze and grab different things. So pretty much only one other thing happens in this part. By the way, this is the principal of JoJo's school, and she is actually the boss of their gang, which is actually crazy. But long story short, the boss gives them a mission, is to steal a 24 karat natural blue diamond from somebody who was flying into Hawaii. And this is a 4-man mission, and this guy has no security. He's from Japan, and pretty much gonna go hit a lick on this guy. They're gonna go rob him for this diamond, and they think it's gonna be a 3-man mission until this guy walks in. If you remember this guy, boom, the guy I told you guys to remember, he's gonna be their 4th member. And pretty much the part ends off, and it gives us a rundown of the stands that are introduced thus far, and it gives us the names of them as well. So JoJo's Joestar's stand name is called November Rain. It gives them the ability to conjure rain and use the raindrops to pin people down. And his brother Dragona, his stand is called Smooth Operators. It gives him the ability to displace objects even if they're meant to be stationary. And Paco, his stand name is called The Hustle, which allows him to grab things by using body parts that aren't meant to grab things, such as the back of your hands or his shoulder or his elbow. But that's pretty much it. So just an even quicker synopsis. What happened in chapter 1 is we got an introductory scene with the police officers, which pretty much gave us a quick introduction to our characters and a quick introduction to their stand abilities. And at the very end of the chapter, we have a little bit of motion of the plot, which is going to be a 4-man mission to steal a diamond. Is this how JoJo got rich? We don't know yet. One more thing actually before I end the video that I mentioned I was going to talk about earlier. My theory is that JoJo is this universe's equivalent of Giorno from the original JoJo universe. While we just see a lot of parallels, there is a heart on JoJo's outfit. Giorno also has a cutout of a heart on his outfit as well. You can even go down to the design of his bro's stand. These look like Mises Sex Pistols. There's also parallels to panel layouts from part 5 as well. And on top of that, JoJo was also 15, just like Giorno was 15. But that's gonna wrap it up for this video, guys. If you liked the video, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe for more content just like this. Ron Man out. Peace.